skin. Hey there, it's Val with Adventure 30, and I have got another product install for you guys today. This is another brand new partnership for us here at Adventure 30. We have partnered up with DCS Lighting, so they hooked us up with a rock light kit for our Gladiator here. So we're just going to go through what it takes to install. They do recommend that you pick up a few things, one of those being fish tape. I got this guy here at Harbor Freight Tools. I believe you can get them at Walmart too. They're not very expensive, but definitely makes this project possible. Also need some wiring tools. I have some of that stuff in my toolbox over there on the wall. So let's just go through what's in the box. We've got the rock light installation instructions. It includes zip ties, so it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3 wiring harnesses. This one just says a rear. So it looks like all the harnesses are labeled, so that should make things nice and easy. Finally, in here, we've got all of the lights. We've got this bigger one. It looks like I've got 2 of these. One of these little guys, it's just got a little clip on the back of it. 2 of this size. So they say mid on them. These 2 also say mid. These 2 aren't labeled, but I've got 2 of these. So I've got 10 lights overall. So I've watched a couple YouTube videos on it already. It sounds like it takes about an hour, but I will let you know, I guess, about how long I think it would take. Alright, so this is behind the rear tire. Straight up on the driver's side, there's a big round hole. That's where we're putting the fish tape in.
If you find your fish tape getting jammed, just rotate it like my husband's doing right here, and it seems to kind of like really clear up the jam and allow you to keep moving forward.
I see it by the front door.
As you can see, it's definitely like a two-person job. It makes things go a lot better.
Why don't you pull it?
You want me to pull it back?
Yeah.
I'll push it forward.
Pull it back. Oh, actually push it forward. I guess I was right here already. Okay, wait up, wait up, wait up, wait up. Okay, now push slow. Okay, I got it. Okay, tape.
Okay. So if you look at the harness here, it says A rear on it. So that this means that this goes towards the rear end of the Jeep. Since we fish the fish tape from the back end forward, that means you're going to connect this end to your fish tape and pull it back through. The duct tape worked really well, so we're going to connect this end and pull it back through with the duct tape.
Don't be shy with the duct tape. Make sure you use enough to like hold it securely so that when you're pulling it back through the frame and over and around all the bolts, it doesn't like let go, and then you'd have to start all over again. I included this clip just because I think it's really satisfying watching the harness get pulled through the frame.
Yep, I got it. So these are all of the lights. So these 2 and these 2 are labeled with the M, so those are the mids. These ones look like they go in the front. This one here has the matching, come on, focus, the matching pigtail end to the one that we fished through to the end. So these ones are going to go in the back, and the instructions say to heat shrink them. They do supply some heat shrink for these, so we're going to start with these and get these plugged in and heat shrunk, and we'll go from there. Poking out.
Just in case, it's kind of hard to tell what I'm doing right here. So I have the end of the harness that's sticking out of the frame hole. I'm going to take the heat shrink, pull it over the end, and then I'll connect the light to the harness. And from there, I'll pull the heat shrink over the connection And then we're going to shrink it with the heat gun just to make sure that we've got a nice weather tight seal on this connection. Now for the most exciting part, push all the wiring back into the frame and then just pop it right into place. This is a lot harder than it sounds. Now you'll just move along the frame and connect all the lights to each harness as you go.
Fish the connector out of the wrong hole. Alright, so this one's this one. So there's the double connector there. So this one. Okay, so I'm definitely learning this as I go. So we've got the harness here that came out. We've got another harness here. This light here. So I've got this one connected. I've got another connector here. I've got this connector. And one of the lights is going to go in this hole here.
This would be another great spot to use the fish tape, but I used a piece of plastic banding off of the toolbox that I had recently purchased, and then just taped the harness for that front light to it, pulled it back through so that I could get it connected to the rest of the harness, and from there just started pushing all of the lights that were there into their respective frame holes. I had a really hard time getting the lights to just pop into their frame holes unaided, so here I was trying to use grease to see if I could get it to slip into the hole a little bit easier, but I still had like a really hard time, and my husband had to finish it out for me.
Not gonna go anywhere once you put them in there.
Then we just kind of decided to try using a heat gun, and that was kind of our big winner.
This recommends installing when it's 70 degrees. It is minus 10 outside and what, like 50 in here?
I think it's 58.
There we go, that popped in a lot easier.
Good.
Life hack. Heat it up a little bit with a heat gun, it'll pop right in.
This is the final light that goes in the front wheel well. This is on the passenger side, but once you finish out with all this, then you have to repeat everything you just did over on the opposite side and install all of those lights.
Alright, so everything has come out of this hole. On the inside of the frame rail, there's this cross member here, but there's some good little spots to route our wires through and tie them up. So I'm going to actually zip tie. I'm going to zip tie to these points here and just kind of follow this wiring up into the engine bay. So this is on the passenger side. That's how I'm going to do this. Okay, so I think I have tape in my hair right now. So I have two left. So this one is supposed to go under the radiator, so this is the front side. It looks like this harness just goes up into the engine bay and connects with the rest of the harness. This one actually has a plug-in underneath the driver rear door and is supposed to go somewhere around the transfer case. The instructions say it's magnetic, but it's actually a little snap-in, and I'm not quite sure where this is supposed to go. So this one here is where that second connector is, and so we've got the second connector here on this side of the frame. Then there's a hole here. It feels like the frame is continuous and there's a hole there.
And then if there's the muffler here, so this is going to be hot. So you don't want your wiring close to that. There's the drive line, and it looks like that light will snap right into this little hole that's right in between.
Here again, I used the plastic banding that I had just laying around to fish through these holes so that I had something to pull the wiring back through. This actually did take me a couple tries to get it out.
Should have brought my safety glasses home from work. So this one is not rubber, it's hard plastic. So you're gonna want to be careful.
I recommend just heating it up slightly with your heat gun before pushing it in. It does kind of help a little bit. As you can see, this one is kind of a tough one to work with, so wrap it really well with tape, but not too thick, otherwise you won't be able to pull it through the hole. And just kind of pull it through. This actually took me like 2 or 3 tries to get this pulled through. Once you've got everything situated, don't forget to secure everything in place with zip ties. The kit does come with all the zip ties you should really need to secure everything.
So I got this guy routed here. The wire sneaks in here, avoids the muffler, goes through the frame here, and pops out where this other light is. So I have one light left. This one is supposed to go somewhere up front. It says to use a 10mm socket, so I've got that here. Here is that light installed. My phone died when I was installing it, so I don't have any video. You just take the 10mm bolt out, place your light on it, and tighten it back down. Just be really careful because both of these parts are plastic, so don't over tighten it. And then my cable is routed towards the passenger side and then on up into the top side of the engine bay. I thought I'd walk through the wiring just a little bit. I have the harness number 3 is actually right here, and it goes behind this plastic piece in the firewall. This connector here is the rock light that's actually over like here underneath the radiator. So that's where that connector is. They all kind of route along into here and into this factory harness where I have them connected to all the factory, to the factory switch that I have it connected to. And then our ground cable goes here to the ground where all the other ones are. I did have to add about 8 to 10 inches to make the ground cable reach just because of the way that I have it routed along here, but you can't see the wire. It looks really nice. It does take some effort to pop this plastic off. Just be really careful so you don't break it. But if you do it that way, it ends up looking really nice and you can't see any of the wires. They're all protected and they run along with all of the other ones that are back there. All right, inside the Jeep. Inside the Jeep, I do have the factory buttons. I have the lights connected to number 3. So there they are. It is daylight outside, so they're still pretty bright. Just in case anything in the video leading up to now didn't make a whole lot of sense, there were 3 harnesses. So there was a harness that goes down the driver's side, a harness that goes down the passenger side, and one that we have routed along the firewall here. So that is your 3rd one. Each side connects to the one that I have routed along the firewall, and then from there connects to your power and your ground. So just to clarify anything that might not have made sense along the way as we were going through the video, I had about 2 hours worth of footage by the time I was done, so I'd say an install probably takes around an hour to 2 hours. I was filming, so of course it kind of slowed me down a little bit trying to find the right camera angles. My phone died, I didn't get everything, but I'd say plan for about 2 hours if you're planning to install on a JT. I think the best part about this kit was that it's made in the USA. There were no holes drilled, so I didn't have to drill any holes in my Jeep in order to install the lights. They popped right into existing holes in my frame. 3, they are super bright.
They are way brighter than anything I've ever seen running around on Main Street, Dragon, Maine, or out on the trails so far. So I am very excited about how bright these are. I do wish that I would have gone with white just because I do intend to use them for rock crawling at night. I have the ice blue and they are fairly bright. They don't do too bad a job, but I do wish that I would have gone with white. So that's something to keep in mind if you want it for looks or if you want it to rock crawl. I would lean more towards going white versus any other color. Install was super easy. I do recommend having 2 people for doing the fish tape portion just because it is tricky. It's not hard, it's just tricky. It is helpful to have another person there to help you out. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day, guys. Bye!